Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu to our honored speaker and guests tonight. Most of us tend to begin the year with a bang, our goals with regards to our health reaching the sky. And then, as the days go by, we lose out on the momentum, the zeal, and the enthusiasm with which we started off. But how high up should staying healthy be on our priority list? What does our deen teach us about physical health? To address these concerns, we have with us Sister Amina Khan, who is an award-winning international fitness specialist and founder of Amana Fitness, dedicated to restoring health in the global Muslim community. She's been named Canada's top fitness professional of the year for her work promoting weight loss and fitness for Muslim women around the world. Her goal is to inspire Muslims to revive the Sunnah of healthy, active living. She's currently pursuing her PhD in health psychology and has helped thousands of Muslims around the world to lose weight and get fit. Sister Amina, over to you.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this unique presentation. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Let me know, everyone, in the chat if you can hear me. Assalamu alaikum to everyone joining us. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Really appreciate it. And go ahead and, if you can hear us okay, just let us know in the chat, inshallah. I see so many of you are already posting where you're from. So assalamu alaikum to all of you. It's so amazing to see everyone tuning in from all over the world, mashallah. So as Sister Banuka mentioned, many of us start off the year thinking about, how is our health going to be this year? How is our weight going to be? We make some goals and we start thinking about our health. And usually around this time, around the beginning of February, this is where I start to hear from so many that, I had all these great goals for my weight and my health and my fitness. And I don't know what happened in January. I started eating off well and then I kind of fell off the party. And then now I'm back to my own habits. So this is what we all struggle with, which is why I'm really excited that we, are really wanting to tackle this problem in the Muslim community, inshallah, and, giving you some real practical solutions on how to improve your health and fitness and get those goals right back to where they should be, inshallah. So I'm here seeing that everyone can hear me, which is perfect. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for letting me know. And, if any point throughout the presentation, if something weird happens with the audio or the slides, feel free to let me know in the chat as well. I will be monitoring your comments throughout and, kind of addressing anything that comes up, but we will have a dedicated Q&A period at the end. But I am looking at the comments and seeing those. So jazakallah khair to everyone who's in there. All right, so I do want to let everyone know that I really encourage you to stay until the end, inshallah. We have a special health report. This is a very cool little document that I've put together that you actually go through and assess yourself on many different areas of your health and fitness. And that's so helpful to make sure that, we're looking at our health holistically. So make sure that you stay to the end, inshallah, and you can grab that health report and I'll be sharing that. Sister is asking, is this live? This is definitely live. How long will this seminar be? We should be here for right around an hour and a half, inshallah, because there's a lot to cover when it comes to health and fitness. All right, so let's dive in, inshallah. Let's start off with why Muslims should be healthy in general. Why is this something that we should be discussing as Muslims? And this is where I love to kind of say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us healthy, and it's time that we reconnect with this forgotten sunnah of health. Okay, so as Muslims, we must be concerned with our physical health and our wellness in all areas of our life, and particularly when it comes to our physical health, how we're feeling, how we're eating, how we're moving. The biggest reason is, of course, because the Prophet ﷺ emphasized health. And of course, this is not something as Muslims that we talk about too often, with everything going on in the world. And don't we think that we should be talking about more important issues? And, is health really that important? A lot of people, are struggling with that. But the fact is that the Prophet ﷺ said that our body has rights over you. And when the Prophet ﷺ has said something like this, we need to take that seriously. Why does our body have rights over us? And what are those rights for our body? So we really need to understand what is our role towards our body. right? And so the Prophet ﷺ also said that two blessings are often overlooked by most of mankind: good health and free time. When it comes down to it, as Muslims, our two resources that we have in this life are our time and our health, right? I mean, many of us who personally might have struggled with health issues, or have seen a family member struggle with health issues or weight issues, or not having enough energy in the day, it's really hard to accomplish anything else and reach our full potential if we have a shortage in these two resources. So of course, these are the things that we need to really be paying attention to. And as Muslims, obviously, we're focused on having an impact and, reaching and becoming better slaves of Allah. And so in order to reach our full potential in those domains, we have to look at our health, because our souls are in this physical body in this life. So we have to look at, how is this physical vessel that our souls are in, how is it doing, and how are we treating it? The Prophet ﷺ said that no human ever filled a vessel worse than the stomach. So a lot of people have heard this hadith, right? We often say, oh, the thirds hadith, that's the golden rule. But I find that so many of us, we don't mention the first part of the hadith, right? The first part is that the Prophet ﷺ said that it is enough for the son of Adam to eat some morsels to keep his back straight, right? This is the first part, that just the standard is going to be eating enough to keep your back straight. That's the standard. But if he must, then 1/3 should be for his food, 1/3 for his drink, and 1/3 for his breath. So many of us as Muslims, we jump straight into, the thirds rule, which nobody follows, right? Everyone often says it almost as like a joke that, oh, the thirds, I've gone so much past the thirds. But, the Prophet ﷺ had that prophetic guidance for us that if you eat past what is required of your body, then that is going to be those thirds rule. So it's just so interesting to me to see how the Muslim community has almost, taken this and turned it into a little bit of a joke. And, we have almost a glorification of food. We find it really hard to maintain a healthy body weight. And so it's really time for all of us to be discussing this in the Muslim community, which is why I'm so glad that all of you guys are here on this call today. Alhamdulillah. One thing that really sticks with me is this particular hadith that I wanted to share with you, because we see this huge increase in obesity, specifically in the Muslim community today. And the Prophet ﷺ actually predicted this increase in obesity, right? The Prophet ﷺ said that the best generation is my generation, right? Of course, the best of people were in the Prophet ﷺ's time, followed by the one after them, and then the one after them. Then there will come a people who will bear witness, even though they are not asked to bear witness. They will betray trust and will not keep them, right? These are negative qualities that the Prophet ﷺ is describing these later generations with: lying, breaking trust. They will swear oaths but will not fulfill them. And subhanAllah, obesity will be rampant amongst them. This is incredible, subhanAllah, and you just have to look at the obesity statistics to see over the years how the rates of obesity have drastically increased. And as Muslims, that's an opportunity for us to have this wake-up call that, are we falling into this prophetic warning? Are we part of that generation that has all these negative qualities, obesity included? And for each one of us individually, I find that's a very big wake-up call to say, I don't want to be part of that bad generation. I don't want to have all of those negative qualities. I don't want to break trust. I don't want to break oaths. I especially don't want to have all of these. And obesity is one of those to really watch out for. So I hope that, through sharing these hadith, inshallah, it's just increased that severity, that seriousness that as Muslims we view this issue with. It's not just something that, oh, you can be an unhealthy, overweight, low energy Muslim. No, this is something that as Muslims we need to take more seriously. The Prophet ﷺ warned us about this, and it's really important that, we put health in its proper place. So Noor asked, how can I know if I'm eating 1/3? So through this presentation, inshallah, I'm going to share some really practical tips for us to start improving the way that we eat. And of course, because many of us, we're out of touch, we're out of connection with what does a third look like, So inshallah, I'll be sharing some really practical strategies, inshallah. And for anyone, who is having difficulty hearing, of course, you won't be able to hear me say this, but if you guys can just be posting in the chat, the admins will be able to help you out. And of course, if everyone else who's in the chat can let them know, log in and log out, that's usually helpful. All right, so we mentioned that there's so many reasons that we want to, be improving our health. And what really I found interesting is that the scholar Ibn Rajab, he said that spiritual benefits for eating in moderation include humbleness of the heart, strength of understanding, curbing one's desires, lessening of personal opinions and anger, and overeating induces the opposite of all of the above. SubhanAllah, it's incredible that this early Muslim scholar is sharing all of these benefits that living a healthy lifestyle has. And that's why, we see that there's obviously a higher benefit. There's a reason why the Prophet ﷺ said our bodies have a right over us, right? And we really kind of see that there's this prophetic guidance and warning against overeating. And then we see the early scholars telling us that overeating will affect your ability to worship, and it promotes anti-Islamic characteristics like arrogance and anger. So thinking about these benefits, these beautiful spiritual benefits for living a healthy lifestyle should really empower all of us, inshallah, to make that healthy lifestyle change. All right. So I want us to think about the fact that taking care of our health, inshallah, can be worship when done with the right intention. When they're saying that, I want to be the best worshiper I can be, inshallah. We all want to do the best job in all of areas of our life as mothers, as daughters, as individuals going to work. We want to have the best ability to serve Allah, and taking care of your health is one of the best ways to make sure you're able to do that. All right. So when we look at, subhanAllah, the way that Muslims are living today, I know that all of you are aware of this. We just have to look no farther than, our masjids. SubhanAllah, so many of us Muslims are struggling with many, many different health issues. When you look at every single masjid, so many of our elderly community is praying in chairs, overweight, obese. And it's so sad to me, because this is not the way that human beings have to age. And subhanAllah, through all the Muslims that I've worked with, I find that there's this idea that, when you get older, you're just naturally going to be in a chair and in a walker and in a wheelchair, and you're naturally going to get obese. And, if Allah has decreed that for you, then that's what's going to happen. But Allah created this world with cause and effect. And all of these conditions of losing mobility and joint pain and muscle pain and aches and all of these lifestyle factors, lifestyle-related conditions, diabetes, heart disease, all of these have a strong lifestyle factor. Lifestyle is one of the biggest preventative things you can do to prevent you from falling into these conditions. So when we think about, do I want to be able to pray strong and standing for the rest of our lives? All of us will say, of course we do. But what are the actions that we're taking on a daily basis to make sure that happens, right? Are we making sure that we have that seriousness? Because realize, brothers and sisters, that our physical health affects every area of our life. And of course, it's going to affect our worship. We all see it in our masjids, in our communities. There's this obsession with overeating. There's this tendency towards unhealthy foods. We need to be aware of that sad cultural reality. So the good news is, though, that all of you are here to learn how we can start improving that, alhamdulillah. The Prophet ﷺ said that Allah has not been asked for anything more beloved to him than being asked for Aafia. And that, Aafia consists of that total wellness in all areas of our life, the spiritual wellness, the mental wellness, the physical health wellness. So we're really going to be talking about how to achieve physical wellness, the physical Aafia. So I like to call this the Aafia formula. This is the components of physical health that I have really put together as a model that I call the Aafia formula. These are all of the areas of your health and fitness that we must have a look at. We must look at these three areas of our physical health in order to feel the best we can, okay? If any one of these is missing, you're not going to feel your best. You're going to feel that low energy. You're going to feel the pains and aches. You're going to feel not at your best. And each of these three components splits into two main ones. So this is the Aafia formula. any type of problem that you have when you're feeling physically low is going to, we have to look at one of these components. The one that we all talk about commonly is, of course, our nutrition. What are we eating, and also how much we are eating? I find that Muslims have a specifically big problem with how much we're eating, how to eat. Are we eating mindfully? Are we eating slowly? Are we eating gratefully? And what we're eating, what types of foods are we eating, right? So all of those play into our food choices. We need to talk about our fitness. Not just exercise every day, because of course that's so important, but how are we moving throughout the day? Are we getting enough daily movement, right? Are we very sedentary? Are we sitting at a desk all day? So many Muslim women tell me, oh, I'm moving all day. I'm up on my feet all day in the kitchen. But is that a healthy type of movement? Is that the movement that our body needs? Are we really making sure that our body is moving in the way that our muscles need to be moving? And the last component that is so often neglected is our rest. Does your body have the time and ability and space to recuperate from daily stressors? So this breaks down to sleep. Are you getting enough sleep? And are you getting the best quality sleep? SubhanAllah, this is such a big thing. So many moms who have kids who wake them up in the night, they say, I can't have good quality sleep. But there's so many things that we can do to improve our quality of sleep that many of us overlook and ignore. So we're feeling tired and exhausted all day. It doesn't have to be like that. And then, of course, our stress, right? Our stress. This is that aspect of course, all of us are going to deal with stress. I mean, this life has many stressors, but how do we deal with stress? What types of things stress us out? What are our personal individual stress responses like? And do we have the tools and resources and knowledge to be able to deal with those stressors, right? So me personally, as a health psychologist, these are the areas that I'm specializing in. So obviously there's a lot to cover here, and all of you guys here, let me know in the chat, which of these areas do you think you struggle with the most? I'd love to know that, to kind of see what everyone's struggling with. But of course, this is so much when it can start to feel overwhelming. So I really want you to, first of all, tell me which one you think that you're struggling with most, so that we have an idea of what do we want to start working on first. I'm going to give you some practical strategies for improving some of these areas. Of course, in one webinar, it's not possible to cover every single aspect of all of these areas, which is why at the end of the presentation, I'm really excited to share with you a unique opportunity that we've created in partnership with Ilm Institute to really learn about all of these areas of your health and fitness. So we're going to give you some practical strategies today, and I'm so excited to really discuss at the end how you can learn through all of these different areas, every single one of them, how to optimize your health and fitness in all of these areas, inshallah. So I'm seeing a lot of people are saying rest, sleep, and stress. It comes up again and again. Some of you are struggling with the exercise, stress, diet, pulling away from the desk. So many of us struggle with that, subhanAllah. So all of us have different issues that we're coming in here with. And so we're going to be kind of sharing some really great practical strategies, inshallah. Someone's asking, why can't you see me on the screen? I think that my internet connection might crash if I come up onto the screen. So that's why I'm just keeping my webcam off. But hopefully, inshallah, the slides are going to be illustrating what I'm saying. Great, inshallah. And let's just keep moving through, inshallah. All right. So let's jump into it. Bismillah. How do we measure physical Aafia? We talked about that Aafia component of how your body is functioning physically. The best way that we need to understand, do we have a problem, is how your body feels, looks, and functions on a daily basis. How do we feel when we're going about our daily tasks? Do we have muscle aches? Do we have pains? Do we feel low energy? Can we walk up the stairs without feeling out of breath? Do our knees hurt? Does our back hurt? Does our neck hurt? Do we have those common pains which I hear over and over again? Are we overweight? When we look in the mirror, how does our body look? Does it look similar to how we looked when we were younger? All of these are really important things to think about. And how are we functioning? How are we feeling? Right? So thinking about that, some of you guys are already identifying these areas that we're struggling, where we need help. So I want you to focus on those areas, okay? And just as a reminder for you guys, at the end, I'm going to be sharing your personal health report. So that's that quiz you can go through and actually fill out to get a really practical look using specific measures on where you are at in all of those 6 aspects of the Aafia formula. So that I definitely will be sharing with you. All right, so we mentioned all of these six areas. Let's jump in. Let's start talking some practical strategies about nutrition. Of course, like I said, nutrition is a huge field of study. So much research is being conducted in nutrition and weight loss, how to eat for weight loss that so many people are struggling with. So I'm going to start off with some common questions I get. Often I ask, Amina, how should I be cooking for my family? What food should I be buying? What are the best foods to eat? What are the worst foods to eat? How do I avoid overeating? So many questions that many of us have about how we're eating. And I want to take a step back from all those specific questions and give you a model that's called the Circle of Integrated Nutrition. And if you understand this model, it will completely change the way you eat. Completely. So we want to start thinking about our food. We want to step back and just think about how we're eating from a bird's eye perspective. Okay, so if you were to look at the way that you eat, we're going to break it down into 4 main areas. How are you eating? Number 1, food consumption. Number 2, what types of foods do you eat? That's food production. So number 3, what is done to the foods that you are eating, the level of food processing. And number 4, how is your food prepared, food preparation. Any aspect of your food breaks down into one of these components, okay? So let's just go over them quickly. Number 1, food consumption. How are we eating? So I want you to look at this circle, and you'll see that it goes from red to green. So on the red side of the circle, those are the areas that are really low levels on all of these 4 measures. These are the harmful areas on the outside, and we want to have you get close towards the middle green section. Okay, so in each of these, it's a scale of dangerous to healthy. So when it comes to our food consumption, on the dangerous side, we see distracted and disordered eating. So when we talk about food, we're always so quick about what types of food should we be eating, but we have to take a step back and think, how is it that we're eating? Are we eating slowly and gratefully and being appreciative for the blessing of our food? That is what we want to move towards eating, a very Sunnah style of eating, right? So that's an important step to take. So many research studies have shown that when we're eating very fast, when we're eating in a distracted state, we're more likely to gain weight. So taking a step back and thinking about how it is that we are eating is the first step towards improving our health. Next one, we want to think about our food production. Okay, so on when it comes towards eating healthier, we want to think towards sustainable local foods that are produced well. A lot of people talk about organic foods, right? But that's not always required. We want to be eating natural, seasonal foods, fruits and vegetables, a colorful diet. So that's a good thing to think about. Where is the food that you're eating coming from? We also want to be thinking about food processing. This I know is a big thing for many of us. On the dangerous scale of the spectrum, we have heavily processed foods, your bolognas, your processed meats, your halal sausages, all of that we find that so many of us really love. And we want to shift towards the green section, which is more unprocessed. So getting as close to the natural form of these foods. Right? So getting rid of the processed lunch meats and thinking about what are the foods that are actually available in nature that I can incorporate into my diet. The more processing that occurs to your food, the worse it is for your health. And then, of course, food preparation. This is where it comes to our cooking. This is where we have a huge amount of control. You know, this obviously, when we can say just from an overcooked to a raw perspective, but this also talks about the types of food cooking styles that we use. Are we using healthy styles like baking and boiling and preparing raw foods, or are we using those unhealthier methods such as deep frying, and using a lot of oil and saturated fats when we're cooking? So the food preparation is in a spectrum, just like all of these. So I want you to start thinking about this circle, and any question that you have about the way that you're eating is going to fall into one of these areas, right? So that's an important thing. And when it comes to these models, I want to share another one that's very helpful, which is the pyramid of integrated nutrition. So we looked at the circle. You can picture the circle is looking at the pyramid from the top. Now we're looking at it from the side. So this is an easy way to visualize what are the things that should be making up the most of our diet. Okay, if you think about all the types of foods that you're eating, most of us, it's very heavy on meat and it's very heavy on carbs, right? So we want to kind of flip that pyramid, and we want to look at what should make up the majority of what we're having. First of all, it has to start with the water. You have to be well hydrated. That should be the first thing that we think about when it comes to what's going into our bodies. First priority should be water, and then after that, we should think about layering it on. The most important thing should be the vegetables, right? So you should be thinking about plant proteins, the vegetables. Then we're going to go up the pyramid, healthy fats, animal proteins, right? Normally, we see that animal proteins is a little bit up higher on the pyramid. For most of us, that's the bottom. That's the one that replaces the water, right? So we want to make sure that we're looking at this as a level of priority, and what percentage is it represented in our diet. Then we go all the way up, and then at the top of the triangle, it might be a little hard for you to read, but it's heavily processed foods are at the top. So that's kind of this triangle, and we see that the bottom sections are what we want, the must-haves, right? Must-haves. And as we move up towards the top of the pyramid, that's where we want to be thinking of reducing or eliminating some of the foods towards the top. So you can see that everything has a place in our healthy lifestyle, right? So you can enjoy, obviously, treats and foods that you're enjoying. However, we want to make sure that it's in the right priority, okay? So a lot of times I get questions about cooking methods, right? So here's just a little cheat sheet that you guys can take a screenshot of, perhaps. What are the healthiest cooking methods? We have steaming, we have grilling, we have poaching, we have stir frying, eating raw, not cooking them at all, and even microwaving. So many times I talk about microwaving, people start attacking me and saying, sister, that's not healthy. But so much research has shown that, microwaving is not significantly different in nutrient loss to other forms of cooking. So all of these are great ways that we can cook. So many, you have 6 methods of cooking. So do we really need to have all that deep frying and oily ways that many of us are going to be preparing our foods? So just something to think about. I hope that those 2 models are going to be helpful. And it's a great way to think about your health. Someone says microwaving kills your food. I would really encourage everyone who feels that way to just look at the research in terms of nutrient loss and whatnot. But you can use whatever cooking styles that you're feeling comfortable with, right? Like, there's so many. So we can. The point is here to move away from those harmful areas of the pyramid, of the circle, and to start trying to get towards the optimal areas. Okay, so I think that that's a very helpful way to start thinking about our health and our food, right? We want to be thinking in a way of prioritization, moving towards optimal ways of eating. And that's, for many of us, very relieving. You don't have to go on some crazy diet where you're cutting off foods. You need to move towards prioritizing certain types of food, certain types of eating, and move towards healthier ones, inshallah. All right, so as a nice little shortcut to help you guys is what we often call the healthy plate. This is a really easy way to visualize any single meal. Whenever you look at your plate, picture these quadrants, okay? So we want to have half of it veggies, and this exactly matches the pyramid, right? If you look at it, the biggest thing at the bottom, that's what's reflected in this plate. So we have the veggies taking up half of your plate. Then we want to start filling in the rest of our plate, adding in your proteins, your meats, your meat curry, your tomato curry and tandoori chicken and all of those great foods that all of us love. Start filling that in. Then we want to fill in the starches, your rice, your bread, your rotis, your potatoes, whatever. And then last of all, we want to be incorporating those healthy fats. So I want you to think about filling in your plate from now on in a counterclockwise direction following this map. Right? So that's how we want to start looking at your plate. Your plate is a map, and your plate is one of the biggest predictors with how you're going to look, feel, and function on a daily basis. So of course, let's make the map look great, inshallah. All right, so that should be a really practical exercise that everyone here can try at your next meal. I want you to look at your plate when you first portion it and look and see, how is my plate portioned? Is 80% of it carbs and 20% of it meat? Do I have these other components? And then, start trying to move towards this type of spread. It's a very helpful model. All right. So, of course, when it comes to eating more vegetables, this is something that we hear a lot, but subhanAllah, so many studies have shown that there's incredible power in eating more vegetables. One study found that people who ate 7 or more servings, and a serving you can just think of as like, for fruits, it's one, like a banana or whatever, a tomato. When it comes to vegetables, or like a cup size serving for many vegetables, or a handful. I don't want you to get too hung up on the servings, but those who had 7 or more types of instances of eating fruits and vegetables were 42% less likely to die from any cause over the next 8 years compared to those who ate less vegetables. SubhanAllah. Like, this is so significant, right? Naima is saying that the staple foods in her country are all starchy. Of course. So, when it comes to the way that we're eating, we need to be, just like Naima, smart and look at what is the ways that the people around me are eating and the way that my culture tends to be eating, right? And then we need to look at, how do I want to eat? What are the types of foods that I want to bring in, and not discarding those cultural practices, those cultural foods, of course, that we love, but just moving them around on your plate so that we can incorporate some of those other aspects, because everyone has access to all of these others. So someone's asking how many rotis per meal are okay. So again, look at this plate. Any question you have about how much you should be eating can be broken down into this. So, for many of us, we'll eat 2 to 3 rotis. But, if you kind of folded it down, could it fit inside that starch component? Could it fit inside that little quadrant? So, maybe you want to be thinking really about 1 serving of roti works down to half a roti, right? And again, that doesn't mean that that's all you can have in the day. It just means that we have to be mindful. And, maybe you don't eat your carbs with every single meal. Maybe you're saving your roti for, your dinner. And then earlier on, you can have the fruits, you can have beautiful vegetables, you can have so many different types of things. There's so many ways to move around your foods and making sure that we're getting them all in. Again, there's so much to cover about your food choices. I know that we have so many questions, and that's why, especially at the end, we're going to be sharing more about the opportunity to really learn at a greater level how we can modify our diet and answer all of these questions. Rizwan is asking, what if no one in my family eats vegetables? So everyone can always start a change. When I got married, for example, my father-in-law, he used some unhealthier cooking styles, and through me not saying anything, but through me just eating in a healthy way and sharing the benefits that I personally feel, it's amazing how when you're doing something, other people say, hey, she's looking and feeling much better. Maybe I want to get in on that too. So we can always start off and make that change for our families, inshallah. All right, so moving on. We talked about how veggies, clear studies, so many of them show that more veggies reduced risk of death. So why would you not eat more veggies? This is very clear research that shows that there is a reduction in your all-cause rate of mortality. So for any reason, reduction in rate of mortality through eating more fruits and vegetables every day. So get them in whenever you can. The sad thing is that less than 9% of Americans eat 3 cups of veggies per day. We want to be aiming for, closer to 7, closer to 5. And so most people are not even getting close to 3. So think about, how can I get more fruits and veggies into my diet? Just doing that will make a huge impact on your weight as well, because we all have a limited stomach capacity. So the trick is, if I'm filling it with water and vegetables and the things lower on the pyramid, I'm going to be filling it with the good stuff, and there's going to be less of that high calorie stuff that's making us overweight. All right. So hopefully that was helpful, inshallah. Lots of questions that are coming up, inshallah. There's a lot to cover, so I will keep some of those questions for the end, inshallah. So save your questions, and I'll try and be pulling in some of them as we go, and otherwise we will have an in-depth Q&A at the end. So keep them coming, inshallah. All right, tips to eat more vegetables. Eat veggies with every meal. Snack on vegetables. Carrots are an amazing snack, or you can even sneak them into other foods, like say you're making lasagna, slide some zucchini in there, and try and aim for 5 a day. So hopefully those are some practical tips. All right, so we talked a lot about different ways that we can change the way we're eating. Like I said, I know that you guys have a lot of questions when it comes to diet, when it comes to modifying our healthy eating. There is so much that we have to cover in order to answer all these questions, right? So we need to go into macronutrients, we need to go into the fats, we need to go into the role of protein and how to pick the best ones, how much to portion them all. An immense amount of content that obviously I can't cover all of it in one webinar, which is why at the end we're really going to cover how you can learn all of those aspects, and discuss more about that opportunity, inshallah, that we've put together with Ilm Institute. And also, of course, I'm seeing a lot of specific personal questions about personal conditions, family conditions. Save some of those for the Q&A, inshallah. But again, obviously, we want to learn the foundations. And when you learn these things, you're able to start troubleshooting your own health issues and the own issues of your family. I will say this. Improving your eating will improve all of these conditions. It's just a fact. We are made of what we eat. And our body's output and the way that we're functioning is massively determined by the foods that's going in. All right, so hopefully these kind of practical strategies were helpful for you guys. Again, we're going to go deeper a little bit later on, and I mentioned those 6 areas of Aafia at the beginning, so I wanted to give you some practical strategies in a few of these different areas. So with you guys' permission, I wanted to move on and discuss an aspect that many of you guys said was a challenge and a struggle for you at the beginning of the presentation, which is aspects of sleep, okay? And I picked this one because it's something that many of us struggle with. Right? Often we're struggling with how do we deal and improve our sleep. So many moms are sleep deprived. And obviously we want to start thinking of what are some practical ways that we can improve that, inshallah. All right, so the reason why I wanted to talk about sleep is because sleep and food are intimately linked, okay? So there's a huge amount of psychology research that goes into the link between sleep and self-control and weight gain. Basically, when you are at a reduced state of sleep, your body suffers in every single area. So we see for people who are sleep deprived or who don't know if they're sleep deprived, but they're just feeling tired, we see reduced impulse control. So you're more likely to act on your impulses, eat that cheeseburger, and we have that reduced control. And as Muslims, this is particularly something to keep in mind, right? Like so much of our deen is holding ourselves back and avoiding the haram. But when we are at reduced sleep, we have that reduced impulse control. So you're going to struggle with that more. We see increased in risk-taking behavior, more likely to binge eat. All of these things happen when we're at a state of reduced sleep. We're more likely to succumb to our desires. And, as Muslims, again, that's something to really be mindful of, because we all have different things that we need to control when it comes to our desires. And the biggest one is really our desire to eat food and eat unhealthy food. So when you're at a state of low sleep, your brain is most likely to make poor health decisions. Your brain is craving rewards and craving those quick and easy rewards, which is why, you're more likely to eat unhealthy foods and eat more of them. So there's a definite clear link between sleep, the nutrition aspects that we discussed, and your self-control, which as Muslims we need to be thinking about. So here's a little test. It's test time for all of you guys. This is called the Epworth Sleepiness Scale. It's a great test that was developed by a sleep researcher in his sleep clinic. And you guys can just take out a little paper and just go through this. So the question is, how sleepy are you? So go ahead and just, we'll go through these and give yourself a score on 0 to 3 based on how likely are you to fall asleep when doing this activity. Okay, so if you're just doing this activity, how likely would you fall asleep? 0, you would never fall asleep. 3, high chance of falling asleep. Okay, so if you are sitting and reading, how likely are you to fall asleep? If you are just sitting and watching TV in the evening, how likely are you to fall asleep? If you're just, sitting around or inactive in a public place, in a meeting room, at your desk, someone mentioned it's hard to pull himself away from his desk. How likely are you to fall asleep there? As a passenger in a car for an hour without a break, how likely are you to fall asleep if you're in a road trip and you're not the one driving? Lying down to rest in the afternoon, if you're just lying down on your bed, if circumstances permit that. If you're sitting and talking to someone, how likely are you to fall asleep? If you're just sitting quietly, of course, this scale says without alcohol, but hopefully all of us are without alcohol all the time. And in a car while stopped for a few minutes in traffic. That's if you're a driver. Okay, so go ahead and give you guys as a score from 0 to 3 on the high chance of dozing off. You can go ahead and tally up your score. Great. So once you've given yourself a score, that's a very interesting thing because the higher your score is, obviously, and if your score is above 9, that's really a case that you are very sleep deprived. And the way that we know that is because when your body is sleep deprived, sleep is a basic human need. So when your body is sleep deprived, you feel sleepy throughout the day and your body wants to shut down. It wants to address that sleep gap, but our daily activities are obviously preventing that. So the more likely you feel that you're going to be falling asleep throughout the day, that is, kind of going to be reflected with higher scores and a key sign that we really need to address the sleep. So above 9 is very, very severe. Above 5 is something that we still really need to address this because it shows that we do struggle with sleepiness throughout the day. Go ahead and post your score in the comments. I'm interested in knowing how you guys are doing. So whatever your score, I want you to think about how you personally feel. The biggest determinant of how much sleep we feel and, kind of what we want to be aiming for is how you personally feel every day. Do you feel tired throughout the day? Someone's scored a perfect 10, lots of high numbers there. So as you go through the day, do you feel sleepy? Do you feel tired? Do you feel exhausted? These are key things. Probably have an 18. Inshallah, Sister Habiba, we can work on that. So once we're thinking about how are we feeling, that's always going to be a baseline. That's going to be where we want to start off at. And again, we said earlier that how your body feels, looks, and functions on a daily basis is the key determinant of where we need to start working on your health. So if you feel sleepy and tired, that's a key thing that we want to improve. Someone has a 1. I think the only thing I'm good at is sleeping. SubhanAllah. So we have a range. You guys can all see that everyone struggles differently with different things. And if sleep is something on your list, we want to start trying to fix it. Sister Naima says a very interesting thing. She says 6, but I sleep a lot. I get more than 8 hours of sleep a day, but I still can't get enough. This is a very interesting thing that we're going to be talking about. Is sleep just about how much sleep you're getting, or is there more to it? You will find out. All right. So You know, I put up this slide here with sleep recommendations because this is the first thing that we want to talk about when it comes to our sleep. The first question is, are you getting enough sleep? For many people, that's a no. For some of us, that's a yes, but we still feel tired. Okay, so you can just look around the bottom. This is the National Sleep Foundation. What is your age group? And then there's a range of sleep. Sleep is very individual. So you're going to see in the teal bars, it's maybe appropriate, and then the darker blue is recommended. So, you know, you can just follow that through. So for a young adult, or let's do an adult, for example, 26 to 64. So 6 hours may be appropriate. For most people, it's going to be between 7 to 9. That's where that commonly cited 8 hours comes from. And for some people, they need 10, right? But how do you know where you fall in that scale? You do the Epworth Sleepiness Scale test that we just did. So no matter how much that you're getting, if you are feeling sleepy, like Sister Naima, she's getting enough sleep, but she's still feeling sleepy, that's an indication that A, you might not be getting enough for you, or if you're getting, you know, a good healthy range, that's a case that your sleep quality is compromised. And that's a case that we have to start improving the sleep quality. And there's many ways we can improve the sleep quality while, you know, maintaining the number of hours. That's good news because, you know, even if you're like really strapped for time, or if you're a mom who has crazy children that wake you up all throughout the night and you're like, I can't get more sleep, we can improve the sleep quality and you'll still see a really big impact, inshallah. All right, so we talked about sleepiness. Fatigue is something that I think that most people are more likely struggling with. That's where your energy levels are low. It's where your body is exhausted, and you know, your body is craving rest. So you might not actually be able to fall asleep, but you might just feel tired, and that's where your body is requiring rest, but not necessarily sleep. So how do we cure this fatigue? First of all, exercise is one of the best ways to fight fatigue. Okay, so increasing your feeling of energy, particularly in sedentary lifestyles, that's going to be really, really key. And so for many of us, you know, we have this very, very sedentary lifestyle, sedentary day, right? So I want to just, while we're talking about sleep, just briefly segue into this aspect of sedentary lifestyle. Some of you guys are struggling with this, and you mentioned that it's hard to pull yourself away from the work desk and you're sitting throughout the day. So most of us do spend our time sitting. Or, you know, as I hear from many Muslim sisters, I'm on my feet all day in the kitchen. But again, we're not actually moving. You know, we're kind of in a little bit of a struggle situation. So, you know, of course, we have a lot of sitting time in our society. So as we spend so much time sitting. When we look at trends in labor market trends, nowadays, the amount of light activity jobs have increased and the number of high activity jobs have decreased. And that's just the nature of knowledge working societies, that many of us are going to be sitting throughout the day. So I'm just going to go through this a little bit quickly, but basically, sitting is we know that it's harmful. So many studies have shown that it's harmful. So 2 practical steps that I can encourage all of you guys to start improving your daily energy, even if you're not spending time exercising yet, is to stand up more and to take more steps. So this is a great opportunity that anytime you find yourself sitting, ask yourself if you can stand up once or if you can take a few steps. So these are your 2 tools. You know, your body is meant to transition between sitting, standing, and movement throughout the day. So if you're not transitioning frequently throughout those 3, you're going to find that fatigue that we discussed. You're going to find that deep, heavy tiredness that gets through. A lot of people find that confusing, that it's, you know, why would I feel tired if I'm not moving? But the fact is that exercise energizes us. You know, it really revamps our amount of energy that we feel, and movement throughout the day is a key part of battling fatigue. So quick tip there, stand up more, take more steps will go a long way towards beating fatigue. I love to recommend for people who are on their desks all day, consider using a standing desk. And just, kind of find a kitchen counter if you need to, and just put your work up there, and try and incorporate more standing, inshallah. Walking every day is such a key. A really interesting study that I love is that Harvard University found that walking reduces the risk of cardiovascular events, so any type of heart disease, by 31%, and reduced the risk of death by 32%. So many times you'll see that the impact that we're talking about is huge. We talked about veggies earlier, a marked decrease in risk of mortality. Walking more, again, a huge decrease in risk of death. So it's not something that you want to just take lightly. This is something that has a big, profound impact on the way that we live and the way that we feel. So, walking more, for a lot of you guys are asking, how can we add in more exercise? It has to start with walking and movement more. 10 to 15,000 steps sounds like a lot, but that is one of the key essentials. Like, I definitely say that if you're not exercising, if you're not moving, we want to be looking at 10 to 15,000 steps. It's very easy to get a free pedometer app on your phone and just have a look at that. A lot of people are around 3,000, to be honest. So my challenge for all you guys here today is to download the pedometer app onto your phone. They're free. Just go onto the App Store and get a little step counter and see how many you're averaging, and try and get those up towards the higher numbers. So that's super important. Munira says that her group of 4 is standing up and listening. That's a smart way to be thinking about incorporating more standing and more walking throughout the day, mashallah. So we mentioned that fatigue is a really, really big part of many people's lives. Exercise and more movement is one of the best ways to address that. A lot of you guys are having more questions about exercise. And as I said, it's really challenging to cover all of these aspects of Aafia in just 1 hour webinar. So I wanted to make sure that I gave you guys some really practical solutions for you to start implementing now, as we're going to go deeper, inshallah. When it comes, Fatima is saying can't exercise at all. So right here, I'm going to stop you guys and say that, do you have an excuses or solution mindset? As a coach, I got to provide that hard love sometimes, but basically, when it comes to our health, I gave you 6 areas of Aafia that we can start improving. So are we going to focus on the ones that we can't do for whatever reason? Or are we going to focus on the ones that we can improve? Are we going to focus on the healthy eating? Are we going to focus on all of those things that we can improve? You have 6 areas, and improving any one of those will change your life. So don't focus on what you can't do. Focus on the areas that we can start improving, right? So someone says that no such thing as can't, just will and will not. I love that. That's so true. So we mentioned healthy eating components. We mentioned some strategies for how to start eating more veggies and how to incorporate different elements of the healthy pyramid and circle into your diet. And the benefit is that that will have a carryover effect on your fatigue, right? So your fatigue is going to start improving there as well when you add in the movement and the healthy eating part. I mentioned earlier that when it comes to our sleep, a lot of times we're always talking about quantity of sleep, but our quality of sleep is going to be affected as well. So when you're eating better and you're exercising better, you will find that that has an improvement on your quality of sleep as well. And just to branch off from that, sleep is a huge area of study, right? Someone's mentioned that they have no energy for exercise. So again, it's all a carryover effect. So when you improve your daily movement, when you improve your exercise, you're going to have more of that energy. But when it comes to improving your sleep quality, you have to be thinking about all the other areas, because when your healthy eating and your exercise is dialed in, that's when we start seeing your energy levels improve, your sleep improve, and all of that as well. Again, there's so much that we could talk about here. As we mentioned, there's so many different areas of health and fitness, and your health in all of these domains are linked. I hope that that's one thing that you can take away from here, that every single area of your health is linked. So if you feel tired, you're not just going to want to look at sleep in isolation. We want to look at the movement, the exercise, what to eat, how you're eating. They all play a really big role, and we have to look at all of those put them together. Again, like I said, it's a lot too much to cover in one webinar presentation. So, we really were thinking about how can we provide an opportunity for Muslims to go deeper into this, to learn how to area of their health. So let's put it all together. I hope that from this presentation, you got some practical strategies and you're feeling that need. You want to stop low energy or tired all the time. I hope that, you want to be at the right weight for you. You want to stop being overweight or struggling with diets or, not knowing how to exercise. And I hope that, the biggest thing I hope is that from this, you have that desire to learn how to treat your body properly as an amana and a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our body is, like we said at the beginning, it is the biggest physical resource that we have in this world. You can't do anything when your body's physical health is compromised. And similarly, when we do improve our physical health, you feel better every single day and you are able to do more every single day in your worship, in your family life, in your service, in your work. All of that improves when we improve our health, alhamdulillah. So I really wanted to create a way to teach you how to improve your health in all of these areas of your life. So not just in terms of the food, not just in terms of some quick strategies, a quick diet, but how to teach you a foundational way to understand your health, understand where you're struggling, understand where you need to improve, and give you super practical ways in all of these areas, which is why I'm really excited to share with you guys that for the first time, we've partnered with Ilm Institute to create a comprehensive online course to show you all aspects of your fitness, your healthy eating, your weight loss, and so much more from an Islamic perspective. And we have called it the Healthy Muslim Blueprint course. So really excited to be able to present this. This is not just quick exercises. This is not just a quick diet. This is the entire system. This is the whole system to get you guys improving your sleep. This is to get you sleeping better every night, improving your quality of sleep, to make you feel less stressed every day, to make you understand, okay, how do we understand healthy eating? How do I become a smart eater so that I know the right types of foods to eat, how much I should be eating, and how to integrate all of these into a really amazing healthy lifestyle that we want to share with you, inshallah. So like we said, there's so many different aspects of health. So in the Healthy Muslim Blueprint course, we have 4 modules that cover all of these aspects. So I want to just quickly go over those with you guys today. So in the first module, that's the foundations. This is going deep into why as Muslims we need to be healthy. This is bringing up your motivation. For Muslims, it's very challenging often to get that motivation for health and fitness because we all are bombarded with hypersexualized images about fitness in the mainstream fitness industry. So in the first module, we go deep into why Muslims need to be improving our health and build up that foundational motivation. In the next module, module 2, this is where we go very deep into the way you eat. And this is seriously going to change the way you look at your foods. So we go deep into the macronutrients. So many times, and you guys as well gave me many questions about how much roti should I eat, how much food should I eat, how much carbs, how much protein. Understanding the macronutrients will answer all of your questions, right? So when you understand what are carbs and what are the roles that they play in your body, how do we have enough how do we eat enough of those, and how do we eat too much? Understanding the macronutrients, so we're building your diet from the ground up. So a lot of diet programs, they'll take things out from the top. What we're doing in this course, we're building your knowledge from the ground up so you're a smart consumer, and presenting this in a way that's not technical, but it has a practical focus. So I'm constantly trying to teach you guys what are the foundations that you need to know to practically change the way you eat without dramatically changing the foods that you love to eat. So that's full of really practical strategies that are really unique, not just a diet, to show you how to change the way that you eat from the ground up. In module 3, we cover all aspects of fitness. So just in this presentation, we discuss briefly movement. Like I said, it's difficult to cover so many areas of health and fitness in one webinar, but inside the Healthy Muslim Blueprint course, we go in depth. We talk about the principles of effective workouts. We talk about how you can create your own workout schedule no matter what situation you're in. So many Muslim sisters who I coach, we have them exercising at home, and that's one of the best ways to do that, because you don't need a gym membership, you don't need a car, you don't need any equipment even. You get those workouts in at home, and that's a great way to start having that muscular activation in an easy way. We talk about movement, we talk about exercise, and we pair them together. So module 3, I feel everyone, and especially Muslim women, will find that very, very beneficial, because again, as Muslim women, the opportunities for many of us to exercise, we struggle with that a lot. So this module is all about breaking down those barriers and giving you an option, no matter what stage of life you're in, no matter how old you are, no matter what opportunities or equipment or anything, giving you the opportunity to stay fit and active in all of those situations, inshallah. And in module 4, that's my favorite module. It's split into 2 areas. The first is all about sleep. So we had questions about napping. We go in depth into the science of napping. There's a right way to nap and a wrong way to nap, and we go all over all of that. We talk about an area called sleep hygiene. This is how to improve the quality of your sleep. So like we mentioned, irrespective of the hours, there are many, many things you can do to improve the quality of your sleep environment through improving the way that you sleep and the setup that you have before going to sleep, the type of bed you're in, the things that you do, the behaviors you do before sleeping. These are all so many things dramatically impact your sleep quality. So we change all of that, inshallah, and give you real tools, real practical strategies that you can try and say, wow, that had a really big impact on my sleep. We talk about making a sleepy routine. We go through all of these practical things to really understand your sleep and understand the factors that are associated with your sleep. The key is that I want to empower you with the knowledge so that when you feel tired or you feel low energy, you don't just have to go and complain to a doctor, that you can actually look and see what areas of my lifestyle can I improve to make me feel better today. That was my goal here. And the second part of module 4 is all about stress. We didn't talk about stress at all today, but as a psychologist, this is, my area that I absolutely love to discuss, because we're all struggling with stress. We talk about individual different responses to stress. We talk about how we can change your response to stress, what types of events causes stress, and then we talk about the specific reaction that we have, how to create a healthier reaction to stress. This is so practical. Every one of us is going to be stressed inside our lives, but when we understand how we can improve our stress and how we can actually react better to stress, it is game-changing. It is life-changing. So all of that is included there in module 4. 4 lessons jam-packed to cover every single aspect of your health. So we got 4 lesson modules. We'll cover every single aspect in all of these areas. All of your questions, I assure you, will be answered, inshallah. We have 32 short practical video lessons. So it's slides, you have me talking on the webcam, and we go through troubleshooting all of your problems so you get empowered with the knowledge that you need. It's over 9 hours of video lessons that you can are recorded for you and watch them at any time and get that information. We have quizzes attached with it so that you're able to become an expert of your own body. Many times we can feel that we don't know what's going on, and we can feel that we don't know how to improve ourselves, and we don't know how to change our tiredness. We don't know how to change our sleep. We don't know how to change all of these things that we're struggling with. This you the expert on your body, and to empower you with the knowledge that will really allow you to start making yourself feel better. So Habiba asked if these are 4 courses. The great news, alhamdulillah, is that we have put this together into one single course. One course, the Healthy Muslim Blueprint, that addressed, and that was my goal here. SubhanAllah, I wanted to create a change. So you get all of this inside the Healthy Muslim Blueprint. So inside the course, you're going to these different modules. A lot of people ask me, what results can you expect from going through this course? So I'm going to be very, very open with you guys here. I've coached, as I said, over 600 Muslim women in different online. Through those courses, we have seen incredible results. So I have Muslim sisters who go through with me and they lose over 30 pounds. You know, they changed their life, they changed their energy, you know, over and over again. I have so many stories from incredible sisters who are able to do that. They're improving their energy and everything. But that's going to be based on, that's going to be the biggest factor is based on how much you're implementing from the course, right? So let me know, you guys, if voice starts to improve, inshallah. Apologies for breaking up. But the results that you can expect from the course are going to be based on how you implement what I teach you. I'm going to be very honest with that. So the course is for people not just who want to go through all the lessons and then just say, all right, I'm done. My health is supposed to just suddenly improve for me. The course is for people who want to learn the foundational knowledge that they need so that they're able to change and impact their lives. So if you're someone who wants to learn the things and implement them, that's where you're going to see these incredible results, inshallah. And, you know, again, I can share so many stories of Muslim women who have lost incredible amounts of weight, improved their energy, and started, you know, feeling that beautiful energy. But again, I'm just going to be open with you guys that it comes down to implementation. So if you have that idea that you want to change your health and you want to improve your energy and you want to feel better, you want to lose weight, you want to change the way that you're eating, and you're willing and you're ready to do that implementation based on what you learn, it's going to be practical, it's going to be simple strategies, then that's where you can see those incredible results, inshallah. So we mentioned that we cover so much, inshallah, in this course, all aspects of your health. You're probably wondering what the investment is for this course. As we mentioned, there's a lot of content that's covered here. It really is the equivalent of 4 courses that we've put together into one. And, you know, we really wanted to make this course accessible for every single Muslim. So all 4 courses, you know, if we were just, you know, kind of to put this together, you know, that would probably be very expensive, something that many of you would find inaccessible, right? So we wanted to create a package that every single Muslim could take advantage of and change their health, which is why with Ilm Institute, we created a special price of $99 that covers all of these aspects of your health and how to transform your health in all areas. But I want to go a step further for you guys who have stayed with me for over an hour discussing your health in all areas. I wanted to put together something really, really special because you guys are action takers. You guys are the ones who I can see are really enthusiastic and ready to start changing your health. So this is an exclusive pricing for this course that we're not going to, inshallah, be offering like this. And that is for those of you guys who are on this webinar, you get this course 50% off for an exclusive introductory offer of $50. We can't make health and fitness any simpler than this. This is an opportunity to get in there and learn all the aspects of where you're struggling. Why do you feel low energy? Why are you struggling in your life and changing it? So I'm really excited to share that offer with you guys because I can't think of an easier way to get started and change your health and change your life, inshallah. So I really hope that you guys, are able to take advantage of that offer and really able to jump in there and get started with transforming your health. I'm super excited. And I know that one of the biggest things that many of you guys are struggling with is motivation, right? So a very special bonus we're putting in here is that for you guys who go through and sign up for the course while we're here on the webinar, we're going to have, inshallah, another special live webinar just for you guys. So this is a special webinar only bonus because I want to help all of you guys who are here get started, get the ball rolling, and get that motivation. So all of you guys who sign up for the course at this introductory pricing are able to get and take advantage of a private coaching webinar. We're going to go into the psychology of motivation and really empower you guys to get started with the course and get the ball rolling. So I'm glad to see that so many of you guys are really excited. I'm super excited because, like I said, for 4 years, I've been teaching Muslims all across the world health and fitness, and I've never offered a course that is this comprehensive in terms of all aspects of your health and fitness. We cover literally everything, and I'm really excited for you guys to go through. We have a question, is this for men as well? Absolutely. This is a foundational knowledge course that I truly believe that every single Muslim should have the opportunity to go through, which is why we have priced it so low so that you guys can jump in and get started, inshallah. So here is the link for you guys to enroll, inshallah. That should have popped up on the screen too. I hope that you guys jump in and take advantage of this offer, because again, it's an exclusive introductory offer that we're having. This is with our collaboration with Ilm Institute. I'm really excited to be sharing that. And like I said, those of you guys who sign up while we are live on this webinar are going to get that exclusive second live webinar with me, where we go really in depth. I'm going to do a really nice presentation with you guys on the psychology of motivation. And then we're also going to have full open Q&A there with you guys to go in depth into your specific questions and concerns. So that in itself, that separate coaching webinar in and of itself, it would be worth for someone to go in there and get all their questions answered. That would be worth the price of the course enrollment itself. Never mind, the 32 practical video lessons, over 9 hours of content to go in there and become the expert of your body, inshallah. Learn how to improve your health, your sleep, your stress, your food, your fitness. I hope you guys can see how excited I am for you to jump in there and get started, inshallah. So, so you're really seeing that you guys are getting excited, alhamdulillah. Someone mentions that you want to apply it to your whole family. Absolutely. This is the type of course that you have this knowledge, you take it to your entire family, inshallah. And so I just want to ask you guys, when it comes down to it, I want you to think that, I understand for some of you guys that this might feel like an investment, but honestly, I want to empower you guys to think that what is that better energy and that better sleep and reduced fatigue every single day worth to you? Because I promise, going through this course, you will get the practical strategies to change it, and you will really be empowered with the steps that you can do. As soon as you get in and start going through the course, you will really get practical steps to change your life. Alhamdulillah, I've been in this space teaching Muslims about their health and fitness for over 4 years, and we've learned so much about what Muslims need to know about their health and how to present it in the simplest way possible that I want to share that with you guys, inshallah. So like I said, I hope you take advantage of this offer. Norma's asking you, should you sign up now or after the webinar? For those of you guys who sign up while we're live here, those individuals, inshallah, will get that special motivational webinar with me and that opportunity to have a private coaching call. So I really hope that you guys do jump in and benefit from that, inshallah. Feel free to ask any questions that you have about the course. I'm happy to answer those. If you have any questions about signing up, if you have any questions about the course. Sister Maria is asking, how long is the 50% offer valid for? So this is going to be a really introductory pricing. I believe it's on for just a few more days. Ilm Institute can let me know exactly. And however, the bonus of the coaching webinar, and the bonus of having that coaching call and Q&A, live Q&A, that's going to only be for people who are on this webinar. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want it to be a small coaching group. I want it to be people who are really serious about their health and fitness, who are ready to go in there and get motivated and get started. So I personally want a small coaching group of people who are super ready to go in there and work on their health and fitness and get those practical strategies. So that's why we're doing it like that, inshallah. And I want to empower you guys to get started, inshallah. Mariam said that she registered. Inshallah, all of the details for your login will be coming through to your email shortly, inshallah. Perhaps Brother Yusuf can put in a support email as well inside the chat for those of you guys who are having any technical issues with registering or anything. If we can get maybe a support email that you guys can check out, inshallah, to help you guys. So I hope, like I said, I hope that you guys take advantage of this offer. I hope that this should be something that is like a no-brainer, that you just, think, do I want to improve my health and fitness? Do I want to share these results with my family? Do I want to not follow a diet plan? Do I want to actually learn and understand how to improve my health and fitness? I hope that course should be that obvious next step, inshallah, because we go really, really deep. All right, guys. So you guys have been wonderful. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, spending over an hour with me. I hope that, you benefited from this webinar. I hope that you found some practical strategies, inshallah. Sister Shamim is asking, will it be a live class or recording? So it is 32 pre-recorded short video lessons that you can go in there at any time. You can go through those practical strategies. And not only, I should mention, it's not only the video lessons. There are activities associated with the different lessons. So you get things like your health report, you get all of those that you can go through with the course. And so that's really key, that you're able to actually, as you're learning, go through checklists, go through and have those resources. There's a quiz attached as well, and you do get the certificate of completion once you've gone through the course as well. And so hopefully this was beneficial for you guys. And Jazakallah khair, those of you guys as well who have stayed this for this time. I did mention at the beginning that that you guys who stayed till the end will get your personal health report. Absolutely, don't think that I forgot. So if you guys go over to amanafitness.com/personal report, you will get that free health report. And, we'll also be sending that out, inshallah, after the webinar. So thank you so much, you guys, for staying. And again, if anybody is having difficulty registering, you can email info@ilm.iou.edu.gm. So if you're having any trouble at all, do send over an email, inshallah, and they will take care of you and help you get started with the course. If you are having trouble registering, make sure you write in the email that you wanted to sign up live, but you weren't able to for technical reasons, so you can get that bonus. Because I want to make sure if you guys are struggling with it, I want to make sure that you guys get into that exclusive live motivation coaching webinar. Because I want to make sure you guys are the action takers. I want to make sure that if you're struggling with signing up now, make sure that you let them know so that you can get that special bonus, inshallah. So, like I said, that bonus is up for while we are live on this webinar, inshallah. And so we'll just go through some Q&A. And again, that bonus is going to be for as long as we're live here. So if you're jumping in and signing up now, that's definitely going to be great. If you guys have any other questions about what we covered today, feel free to post them in, and I'm happy to answer, inshallah. And as I said, anyone who signs up while we are on live will have access to that special free coaching call. And I just wanted to say Jazakallah khair for all of you guys, your kind words and your comments. I'm very, very happy and touched and honored that you found this webinar helpful and informative. That's my goal, to give you guys practical strategies, inshallah. So feel free to post any questions that you have in the chat. And if there are no further questions, then I think that we can wrap it up. But Jazakallah khair. MashaAllah, Afra signed up. So again, anyone who's having issues, whether that's with your card or technical issues with your internet or anything, just feel free to send an email over to info@ilm.iou.edu.gm. I will post the link in the chat as well. That's the support email for you guys to check out, inshallah. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Jazakallah khair. Sister Afra is asking, is it helpful for PCOS? Absolutely. PCOS is a condition that is highly impacted by lifestyle choices, particularly weight. So if you have PCOS and you are overweight, this is a high priority thing to start changing. Because once you get your weight under control, the symptoms of PCOS will often dramatically change as well. And so I really, really encourage you guys, if you have PCOS, this course is a must go through. This course will really, really change that condition. So many medical conditions, lifestyle factors, as I mentioned, the way that you eat, move, exercise, and sleep, these are the foundations that determine how you feel on a daily basis. So I really encourage you guys, think of your health as an investment. Think of your body as an investment. Think about how you would feel with better energy throughout the day. And I really encourage you guys, inshallah, to sign up for that course. Take advantage of this special introductory pricing, inshallah. I hope that you benefit from that. And I hope to meet you again, inshallah, on our private coaching call, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, everyone, for joining. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.